Welcome to our channel. Today I will help you improve your English with a beautiful story about overcoming challenges, success, and life change. This story is about dreams. It is about persistence. It is about never giving up. This is the story of a man who, even after his wife left him, even when he did not have basic things, even as a single father, he never accepted failure. He always dreamed of building a better future for his son. This story is about investment, about risk, and about choices. And while you learn all of this, you will also improve your English. So let's begin. But before we start, if you like business and English, and you want to watch more videos like this, subscribe to the channel, and like this video. Now, let's start. Chris Gardner was not a rich man. He was not successful. He was just trying to survive. Every day, he woke up with one goal: to take care of his family. Chris lived in a small apartment with his wife and his young son. Life was not easy. Money was always a problem. There were bills to pay, rent to pay, food to buy. But Chris had a plan. He invested all his money in medical machines. They were called bone density scanners. Chris believed these machines could change his life. He thought doctors would buy them. He thought he could make good money. But there was a problem. The machines were expensive, and not many people wanted to buy them. Every day, Chris walked through the city, trying to sell one machine, just one. He went from door to door, hospital to hospital, office to office. Sometimes people listened. Sometimes people ignored him. Sometimes they just said no. Again and again, rejection after rejection. But Chris did not stop. He kept trying, because he had no choice. At home, things were getting worse. His wife was tired. She worked hard every day, but it was not enough. The stress was too much. Too many problems. Too much pressure. And slowly, their relationship started to break. Chris was trying to stay strong, but inside, he was worried. Very worried. He wanted to give a better life to his son, but he did not know how. One day, something changed. Chris saw a man driving a very nice car. The man looked happy, confident, successful. Chris was curious. He asked a simple question. "What do you do?" The man smiled and gave a simple answer. "I'm a stockbroker." In that moment, something changed inside Chris. Stockbroker. Good money, better life, new opportunity. Chris started thinking, maybe this is my chance. Maybe this is the way. But there was a problem. To become a stockbroker, he needed training, an internship. And this internship had no salary, no money, nothing. For most people, this was impossible. But Chris was different. He saw opportunity, even in risk. So he made a decision, a risky decision, a decision that could change everything. He decided to try, even without money, even with a family to support, even with everything against him. Because deep inside, he believed one thing: his life could be better, and he was ready to fight for it. Chris started his new journey. He wanted to become a stockbroker. He applied for an internship. It was a big opportunity, but there was a problem. The internship had no salary, no money, nothing. Chris knew it would be hard, very hard, but he accepted the challenge because he believed this could change his life. At the same time, his old problems did not disappear. He still had bills. He still had rent. He still had his machines to sell. So now, he had two jobs. During the day, he worked as an intern, learning, calling clients, trying to understand the business. And after that, he tried to sell his machines, running through the city, looking for any chance to make money. It was exhausting, very exhausting. And things at home got worse. His wife could not take it anymore. Too much stress, too many problems, too much pressure. One day, she made a decision. She left. She left Chris. She left their home, and she left their son with him. Now Chris was alone, a single father, with no money, no stable job, and a big responsibility: his son. From that moment, everything became harder, much harder. Chris had to take care of his son, feed him, protect him, be strong for him. even when he was tired, even when he was scared, even when he felt lost. But Chris did not stop. He continued his internship. He continued chasing his dream. Because now, it was not just for him. It was for his son. Every day, he woke up early. He took his son with him. He went to work. He tried to learn. He tried to be better. But life was still difficult. Very difficult. Sometimes, he did not have enough money for food. Sometimes, he did not know what to do next. But he kept going, step by step, day by day, because giving up was not an option. Life was getting harder every single day. Chris was trying his best, but it was not enough. One day, he could not pay the rent, and soon after, they lost their home. Chris and his son had nowhere to go. No house, no safe place, nothing. Now,
They were homeless.
during the day, Chris tried to act normal. He went to his internship. He worked hard. He smiled. He learned. He tried to stay focused. But at night, reality was different. Very different. He had to find a place to sleep. Any place. Sometimes, they slept in shelters. But not always. Sometimes there was no space. Sometimes, they had to sleep in the streets. Or in public places. One night, they stayed in a subway bathroom. Chris locked the door. He sat on the floor, with his son in his arms. Outside, people were knocking, trying to enter. Chris stayed quiet, holding his son, protecting him, trying not to cry. But inside, he was breaking. He felt pain, fear, and pressure. But even in that moment, he did not give up. The next day, he woke up again, went back to work, and continued the fight. Every day was a test of strength, a test of patience, a test of belief. Chris had very little time, very little energy, but he used everything he had. At his internship, he worked harder than anyone. He made more calls. He spoke faster. He learned quickly. He knew this was his only chance. There was no plan B, no second option. Only one path, success or nothing. Even without food, even without sleep, even without a home, Chris kept going. Because of one reason, his son. He wanted his son to have a better life, a safe life, a different life. And that gave him strength. Strength to continue. Strength to fight. Strength to believe, even when everything was against him. After everything, after all the pain, after all the struggle, the final moment arrived. The internship was ending. Chris had done everything he could. He worked harder than everyone. He gave his time, his energy, his focus. He sacrificed everything. Now, there was only one question. Would he get the job or not? That day, Chris was called into a room. He sat down, calm on the outside, but inside, his heart was racing. The man in front of him looked at him and smiled. Then he said, "Chris, we would like to offer you a position." In that moment, everything changed. Chris could not speak. He could not move. He just looked, trying to understand. After everything he went through, after the nights with no home, after the pain, after the fear, he finally made it. He got the job. Chris smiled, but his eyes were full of tears. Not tears of sadness, tears of victory. He walked outside, into the street. People were moving. Cars were passing. The world was the same. But for Chris, everything was different. He was not the same man anymore. He was stronger. He was ready. And he had a future, a real future, for him and for his son. That moment was happiness, not money, not success, but the feeling that he did not give up, that he kept going, that he believed when everything was against him. And in the end, that made all the difference. This story teaches us something simple, but very powerful. Life will be hard, very hard. You will face problems. You will feel pain. You will feel like giving up. But if you keep going, if you stay strong, if you believe, things can change. Chris Gardner changed his life. Not because it was easy, but because he never stopped. Now tell me, what did you learn from this story? Write in the comments. And if this story helped you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because here, you learn English and learn about life at the same time. See you in the next video.